think that usually feels better. Okay, so quickly I'm just going to press save all again. Save selected. I'm going to go into my blueprint. So right here, this is where we've set up the skeletal mesh. Now I'm going to go into the event graph. This is where the majority of the scripting happens, but I'm not going to do the input setup here. I'm going to go to graphs, create one called basic inputs. And here I'm going to, so in the project settings I specified all the buttons. Here I'm going to go into blueprint, basic events. This is where I make all the buttons work. So I need move forward, so axis event, move right. So this is the basic forward and sideways movements. So this is, again, anything on the left and that is red, these are like events. So in the event that someone presses a button, so a forward or backwards button, or a left or right button, the very right, so anything on the far right is usually blue. And these are so I need to start by getting control rotation. I believe that this is the rotation of the character, because depending on where the character is rotated, that's going to determine where it's facing, the forward vector. So we need to pull out break rotator, and then we need to create a new rotator, make rotator. And the only thing that we're using is the Z, which is the up and down. The up and down is the axis, so it's like the left and right rotation. So we're getting the forward vector, get right vector. So the vector in which the character is facing and the vector in which the right is facing. So we just plug those into the world direction. Also we need to connect these ones. This is what makes them fire. And we must not forget to connect the axis value, because the scale value is 1. If we just leave it at 1, that means it's going to constantly move forward and right, almost like a diagonal position. So by default we want 0 when nothing's being pressed. So you select everything, press C to create a box, name this movements, press enter, and then click this box here to create this bubble. So this bubble, no matter how far you zoom out, you can always see like what the box is. The next one is going to be run, so I'm going to right click, type in run, and there should be, need to look for action events run. So basically all we're doing, if you go into character movement here, you go down to walking, max walk speed is 600. Basically we're going to set this value from when it's pressing, when it's not pressing. We need reference to this character movement, we need 2 of them. And for both of them we're going to set walk. set max walk speed. So when it's pressed, the value of it is going to be 1200, like in the blend space that we created earlier. That's the highest value. That's when it's running, when the button is pressed. When it's not pressed, we'll set it to 400, which is where the walking animation was placed in the blend space. Again, select everything, press C. Okay, so we're almost done. So quickly I'm going to save all, save selected. Okay, so when this project was created, it gives you a default map, and as you can see there is a player start. If there is no player start, you can just drag and drop from here and put it in, but it already came with one. So when you press play, you can play in the editor. It's got a default character that comes with Unreal. For some reason, you need to press the mouse button once in order to activate it. Otherwise, it does nothing. So when I turn the mouse, the camera rotates, which is great. And just say I press forward, which is the W key. It moves forward in relation to the camera. So if I turn the camera and I press back, which is the S key, it moves back in relation to the camera. And same with the left, which is A. And same with the D button for right. But this is not the character that we want. We want to use our custom character. The whole point of this tutorial is to do a third-person character setup with your own custom character made with whatever 3D program, Blender, Maya, or whatever, 3ds Max. So the way to do that is right-click in your content browser in the Blueprint folder, click Blueprint class, and you want to create game-based mode. And you want to name it. GM for game mode. And all I need to do here, under default pawn class, specify female warrior BP. And that's all I need to do there. And press compile. Okay, so when you go into project settings, you go into maps and modes. We need to specify, right now, the reason why that the default character is appearing is because the default game mode is set to BP third person. We want to choose female warrior GM. So when I do that, let's see if that works. No, it doesn't. I think you need to specify it here. So you have to go to world settings, and right now it's BP third person game. Female warrior. There you go. So As you can see, it's blinking, so I'm going to exit out of that. The reason why it's blinking is because this, when I go back to the viewport, I have to select the female warrior VP. The right, type in balance. So balance scale is set to 1. What that means is it has something to do with the interaction between the camera and the mesh. When if it's set too low, then that's when like the flickering happens. So I'm going to set this to something higher, like 10. I'm going to compile. Now I'm going to try once more. Okay, so there's no more flickering. So again, you got to press the mouse button, the left mouse button once. And now, spin the camera around. Press W to move forward. If I press the right mouse button, it move forward. I don't know if my computer's slow, but this is really laggy. But that's basically it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial. I'll be doing more. This is just the first in the series, so please stay tuned. I'm going to be adding stuff to this. Perhaps I might develop like an entire level. So please watch the whole series.